Apple 81, take one.
The film Krieg is really a story of irony in war. Matter of fact, the name of the production company that was directly involved in creating this was called Mein Krieg, which means my war.
So, ready?
All right, camera ready.
It was appropriately named because this has been a real battle to try and make this film.
And action.
Bring that soften down to about.
We're doing something that isn't easy for a reason. This is a B-17 bomber, right? It's a period film. You know, we're not Paramount Pictures here.
All right, let's go. We're going again.
Let's go to one.
If you do the same thing everybody else does, it's really not something that rallies people.
And action.
You take something that's so big, so large, so daunting,
Don't try this at home.
Action.
outrageously ambitious,
That looks pretty cool.
and you pull it off. It couldn't help but get noticed.
Jeff Fry's an award-winning screenwriter. It's beautifully paced, and it's exquisitely written.
And then can we just test this one? Just make sure it's straight.
Watch it. Striking. Action.
Part of the reason that I fall in love with movies, I fall in love with the characters that embody them, and the journey of Herr Winter. It's the sort of the struggle that we all have when we're faced with difficult ethical choices. We have different allegiances that pull us.
Voulez-vous ça? C'est votre chance.
Weglaufen ist unehrenhaft.
In this case, it's dramatized by an actual war, but it certainly can apply to anything in our lives.
We have a lot of foreign films that come into this country and they enter a foreign film category, but we have very few American films that are really foreign films, that are about other countries. Most of them are just about us.
War is evil business.
That's the percentage.
Action.
Wer auch immer hier war, hat das ziemlich eilig wegzukommen.
Schütze.
Ja.
Seine Spuren haben ihn hingeführt, oder?
Jawohl, mein Hauptschirmführer.
Er kann nicht weit sein.
In your typical war film, you have the battles, you have the stories, and usually it isn't much more than that, than spectacular, shots. Here, I believe it digs deeper.
You never really see like the blood splattering or the explosion going on. You see mostly the reaction of people seeing what happens.
Yeah. Drop.
You're watching real people.
It's one thing to think about that, it's another thing to bring that to life.
Alright. It's ready to go. Yep. Set. Roll sound. Action. Keine Bewegung.
He has so much respect for it and wants to get it right. That down to 5 layers of clothing we're wearing, and every piece is authentic.
No excuse. And where did I wasn't here yesterday.
The whole concept of this was to be what we call naturalism. Those little details actually bring things to life.
Everything is the real deal. My boots are literally boots they wore.
Set. Action.
We wanted this film to actually look like what it might have been like.
Cut.
I'll give you an example. We're so used to seeing pictures of German soldiers that are clean-shaven.
Good to see you. Good to see you always.
First thing he told me is like, I'm not gonna have you cut your hair. There's no military, like a Marine haircut.
Feuer in den Bergen.
This is the very last stages of the war.
Kommen Sie mit mir.
And the last thing they cared about is the way they looked.
It's like, well, yeah, you got your actor here with a beard. And he's like, yeah, but you know what? They were that way. And I was like, I've never seen that. And he's like, exactly.
It has an amazing European ambiance about it, and yet it is an American film, which is something I've never been part of, and it makes it very, very unique.
It's not surprising if this were like a multi-million-dollar shoot, but it's not. So in a smaller budget film, it's rare and it's a complete privilege to do that, and it makes it exciting.
Everybody pulled their talents in. They worked so hard.
I mean, when people are really doing their passion projects, you can tell the difference.
They rallied behind what it was that I was trying to create.
This story is more than just about World War II. This is about the human condition to the core. It's presented from each individual perspective of why we did what we did and what made us do it. It's as relevant today as it was then.
This is not something that's going to glorify Nazis or Nazism or say that the SS were good or anything like that. I don't want you to get that impression. The impression that I want you to have is that you're watching real people, not caricatures.
It's a very difficult film to make and therefore very important to me. Because it hasn't been done like this. And I think that's ultimately why everybody wanted to be a part of it. You know, you can tell you're part of something special.
And it's not done yet.
It would be a shame if that vision weren't translated to its ideal length, I'll put it that way.